Hey guys, Joker the Fool here, back at it again. This is the 121st episode of the Braxcast, and I'm going to go basically all through the Detention Crew. And of course, I'll show off the covers. So I'm uploading this with the with the review of this book. This is the Lou Chetty cover right here. Do really like that cover, so we'll show that off. And then after showing off the other two covers, we're going to get right into doing the concept art book, and this basically be the Detention Crew episode, and hopefully I'll get caught up on the Riververse books because this one is definitely quite interesting, but I do recommend watching the review to get my full thoughts on it. And that, I believe, I'm sure was the Cane and White cover. Actually, I think this is the Cane and White cover. Absolutely love this. You got all the excerpts basically in there. The Detention Crew and not being high schoolers, so basically being dressed up as superheroes, which doesn't get seen too much, but this is definitely a really good depiction. I absolutely love this. But without further ado, this is the original concept art of the Detention Crew. Now, this is basically the only concept art book I'm behind on. I've done I've done every single art book for the Riververse, and I know you guys do like these, especially if you don't buy them, but you still want all that sweet, sweet lore. I am here to provide. So first we got Death to Fire. I do like this. So we've got you've got Marcos Rios, believe as the artist. So Jen and Sylvia are, of course, the writers. They narrate this. But I think, Invisible Art Studio says for design, but I believe this is Marco Rios' art because he's the concept artist. So yeah. Although this is an ensemble cast, Death to Fire is to me the undeniable focal point of the series. He's a reformed, or more accurately reforming supervillain who hasn't been on the side of the Angels for very long. He's rough, blunt, and unapologetically intense, but he's learning. When Marcos Rios and I collaborate on his design, it's crucial to preserve his edge. Even as he steps hesitantly into heroism, we wanted to retain the visual language of a supervillain, or at least the presence of a particularly intimidating teacher. Death to Fire is not a bad man, he's simply a hardened one. His stern, perpetually irritated expression isn't a deliberate attempt to frighten anyone, it's simply his resting face. Underneath that severity is a good heart, and he's only beginning to understand that he may truly be worthy of redemption. In the comic, Matteo Lucetti chose to let Death to Fire's hair show beneath his cowl, making him more recognizable in costume. Physically, he's pale, sharp-jawed, long-haired, and hollow-eyed, striking in a way that borders on unsettling. Whether suited up or teaching the Detention Crew, he gravitates towards dark colors. His cape and chains are integrated into his combat style, giving him a distinctive and memorable silhouette. And that's a very important thing in fashion, is silhouette. Basically what you look like, what your shadow looks like. That's why it's called silhouette. But that's apparently a very important thing when you're thinking of fashion. Of course, Golden. I think Golden is a character that gets basically the most amount of screen time is the right word when you're thinking about comics, but he does have a lot of characterization or character development. I do think he's a good character because of that. So Golden embodies the archetype of the classic high school jock, but without the arrogance or cruelty often associated with the stereotype. Despite his impressive physical presence and the very potential for him to be intimidating, Golden possesses a genuinely kind, gentle nature. His heart is every bit as golden as his power to transmute objects into gold. We envision him as the kind of young man who looks like he could be a bully, yet anything but. Golden's sweet, level-headed, and constantly considerate of others. He's cool, effortlessly popular, and absolutely looks the part. As a star quarterback, sports are the center of his world, and he wears his Letterman jacket with unself-conscious pride. And while he presents as carefree and upbeat, Golden things feels deeply, and the weight of responsibility often rests heavily on him, even if he tries not to show it. Physically, Golden is athletic, handsome, and charismatic. With a movie star smile, his palette is predictably yellow and gold, and his costume design draws heavily from his football gear. He naturally carries himself as a committed team player, both on the field and within the Detention Crew, always striving to support the people around him and contribute to the group's success. Nice. So, of course, we've got Witch. Witch is the quintessential cool goth girl, quiet, introspective, and still in the process of building her own self-confidence. Losing her mother at a young age shaped her deeply, sparking an early fascination with gothic culture and fashion. She often feels like an outsider and tends to keep to herself, using her dark aesthetic as a kind of emotional armor. By presenting herself as intimidating, she hopes to keep others at a distance, afraid that forming close connections will lead to the same kind of flaws she experienced as a child. Which has dark hair, a love for black clothing, and a preference for dramatic, shadowy makeup, though she remains distinctly feminine in her presentation. When creating her first costume, she chose a playful, repurposed Halloween cat outfit, an unexpected hint at her softer, more vulnerable side, but much like a real cat, she has sharp edges, get too close, and she's quick to metaphorically swat. Her true superhero costume is more refined and intentionally crafted, embracing the mystique and identity of her chosen hero name, Witch. So, I mean, I do like this, but it's kind of like a bit of like a gag skin. If there was a Detention Crew video game, this would be like a unlockable skin, and this is like the default. So we've got Swarm Sting, and of course you've got all the heights here in feet and inches and just inches. So Swarm Sting is a fundamentally good kid who has simply reached his limit. After losing his parents at a young age, he was raised by his grandparents, which left him more at ease around adults than around peers his own age. His clothing choices reflect that he dresses like someone who feels older than he is, unconcerned with trends or what others consider cool. He doesn't know what's fashionable, and frankly, he doesn't care. His ability to communicate with insects further sets him apart, creating an additional barrier between himself and other kids. Yet the same power fuels his genuine fascination with science and biology, giving him a sense of purpose. Swarm Sting has blonde hair, glasses, and an unassuming appearance. When he may not look cool, but he feels cool when he's put together in a way that feels professional to him. He crafted his costume using gardening supplies, leaning into his affinity with bugs. When he summons a swarm to gather around him, he can transform into a hulking, intimidating figure, and he enjoys tapping into that fearsome side. Swarm Sting takes particular satisfaction in scaring off bullies who underestimate him. Of course, you've got Dogbane and Dog. So Dogbane and Dog are an unforgettable duo. Dogbane transferred from a school in China when his family relocated to Old Chicago. He's still accustomed to wearing a school uniform. This gives him a slightly preppy appearance, even though his personality is anything but polished or formal. Naturally curious and deeply intuitive, Dogbane possesses the ability to glean visions, messages, and hidden meanings through physical contact with objects, a gift that often leads him to straight into trouble. Being the new kid only heightens his sense of displacement, leaving him introverted, uncertain, and struggling to find his place. This is why his superhero identity is so boldly theatrical, inspired heavily by anime. Dogbane's heroic persona represents everything he wishes he could be: expressive, confident, and larger than life. His costume is less about disguise and more about aspiration, a chance to step outside the quieter version of himself he worries others might find dull. Dog serves as the perfect counterbalance to Dogbane's shyness. He's brave, vocal, and steadfast, everything Dogbane is not yet ready to be. Though he appears to be a charming Shiba Inu, a type dog, there is clearly more to Dog than meets the eyes. His instincts are sharp, his reaction almost uncanny, and his presence hints at abilities and history that Dogbane the readers have only begun to uncover. I do like that. And of course, we've got Miss Cupid. Miss Cupid embodies the spirit of romance and mischief. Armed with her signature bow, an item she treats with almost sacred affection, she has a knack for showing up exactly when people least expect it. She accidentally ends up swept into the detention crew, is forced to remain once the teaching staff confiscates her bow. Despite the rocky start, she generally adores people and quickly forms real friendships among this group of lovable misfits, some of whom were originally on her personal matchmaking list. Miss Cupid is undeniably cute, and she dresses with full awareness of it. She loves all things adorable and whimsical, and her wardrobe reflects that playful sensibility. She's thrilled at the prospect of becoming a cheerleader, and the uniform becomes her way of fitting in with the rest of the student body. Her superhero costume is airy, flowing, and almost pixie-like, reflecting her vibrant personality. It hints at a larger story behind who she is, though no one takes her claims or hints seriously, adding to her charm and comedic frustration. Yeah, she's just basically just along for the ride. Definitely rather interesting character. I always love seeing the color palettes and all of the notes. Very, very nice. Of course, she's like 5'4". That's like the perfect height for being, like, I guess, cute, right? Connor Cassidy has been Carter Washington's best friend since childhood and serves as the wide receiver to Carter's quarterback on the field. In his everyday attire, Connor typically wears his Wayne Carberry High School football letterman jacket in black and yellow, personalized with his name. He pairs it with torn jeans, sneakers, and a Norfolk t-shirt. A casual, effortlessly cool look that fits his personality. Physically, Connor has hazel eyes, sandy brown hair, a lean and athletic build, and a warm tan. He stands at 5'10". We first meet him in his yellow and black Wayne Carberry Generals football uniform, proudly wearing the number 13. Of course, Washington Carter is golden, basically, that we covered earlier. So we've got Mackenzie Monroe. Unlike the other members of Mr. Wonder's team, Mackenzie attends Wayne Carberry High School, where she proudly serves as a cheerleader for the Wayne Carberry Generals. You first see her with the cheer squad in her bright black and yellow uniform. She is energetic, athletic, and full of school spirit, someone who brings confidence and positivity into every room she enters. Mackenzie's everyday style is cheerful, trendy, and fun, with long curly hair and a polished look. She carries herself with the poise of someone comfortable in her own skin. Standing at 5'8", she's friendly, outgoing, and always eager to support her teammates and friends. In her casual clothes, she often wears a black tank top, a black shirt, tall boots, and a brown leather jacket. A cross on the back of the jacket adds a meaningful personal touch and gently ties in the themes of hope and strength that surrounds her character. So, not one that really shows up all too much. Of course, you've got Damon Jackson as well. This is the older of the two brothers, first introduced as part of the visiting football team competing against the Generals. We meet him wearing his blue and white Mary Queen of Angels Saints uniform with the number 1 proudly representing his school. In his everyday clothing, Damon usually wears a school blue and white Leatherman jacket over a simple shirt paired with dark jeans and boots. He has a tall athletic build that keeps him neat, stylish appearance that reflects his commitment to his team and his responsibilities as a student athlete. Damon carries himself with a confidence and a strong sense of school pride. Standing at 6'1", he brings the maturity and dependability expected of an upperclassman and serves as a positive role model for younger students. We've got Israel Jackson, who's the younger of the two brothers, though they are only a year apart and often mistaken for twins. Thanks to their similar features and close bond, Israel has a more preppy style than his older brother, often wearing a vest, tie, collared shirt, slacks, and clean casual sneakers. His dreadlocks are neatly tied back in a ponytail, giving him a well-put-together appearance. We first meet Israel as a member of the visiting football team from Mary Queen of Angels High School, wearing the blue and white uniform with the number 2 from the beginning. He and his brother share a strong sense of teamwork and family unity, something reflected in their athletic performances and the way they support one another. So we've got Mr. Wonder, who's a beloved and enduring hero whose appearance embodies the classic ideals of superhero design. He wears a bright white uniform accented with red belt gloves and boots, complemented by a flowing red cape. A simple red mask protects his identity, while his shoulder-length blonde hair, warm smile, and blue eyes project reassurance and optimism. His costume is adorned with star motifs, symbolizing the hope and guiding light he brings to the others. The gold MW emblem on his chest and cape serves as his distinctive and recognizable insignia. Ugh. And we've got Mr. Wonder's team. In creating Mr. Wonder's team, we wanted to emphasize a sense of wonder, teamwork, and aspirational heroism. While the Detention Crew is still learning how to navigate their new abilities, Mr. Wonder's team represents heroes who have trained longer and have mastered their skills. How their paths intersect and how they influence Death-to-Fire and his crew is something readers can look forward to discovering in the second part of the Detention Crew. Rapport is a hero who wears a sleek bodysuit composed of various shades of blue with elegant paneling. He has a hooded mask, a long cape, visually striking, dynamic silhouette. He appears alongside the rest of Mr. Wonder's team near the end of the story. We've got Catharsis. Catharsis wears a gray paneled bodysuit featuring a subtle seraphim-inspired emblem on the back. His protective eyewear has wide straps labeled with his name, giving him a recognizable and distinctive look. His appearance hints at a calm, steady presence within the team. And of course, you've got a six-winged angel. These are, I believe, called seraphim. I'm getting it correctly. So Pilot wears a fitted red costume with refined red paneling and a seraphim motif on the back, similar to Catharsis, an intentional design choice suggesting a shared origin or theme. His uniform is bold and symbolic, tying him into the heroic imagery central to Mr. Wonder's team. It's probably, we've got these two, and they look basically very similar to, you've got Damon Jackson and Israel Jackson, and just basically look at the choices of hairstyle and the build, basically the same. So, hint, hint. We've got Iron Saint. Debuts alongside the other heroes toward the end of the book. She wears a full gray suit adorned with intricate gold detailing that gives her an elegant artistic appearance. Her full mask and long cape create an air of mystery while maintaining a family-friendly sense of dignity and heroism. We've got Hard Drive, who stands tall in a technologically advanced armor suit that brings him to a height of approximately 6'5". The suit is primarily silver with black and gold accents and features a soft blue-green illumination built into its panels. This impressive mechanical hero joins Mr. Wonder's team after helping him to subdue the Minotaur. And of course, we've got High Voltage, and I believe this is Mackenzie, the cheerleader. High Voltage wears a black and yellow costume designed with dynamic patterns that resemble electricity, symbolizing her energetic power. She keeps her identity hidden behind a simple black eye mask. Her design focuses on bold shapes and bright colors, emphasizing excitement and positivity. And that is the entirety of this book. So, of course, Michael Rios, concept artist, fantastic job. You like that simple commentary from Jen and Sylvia. They've done a bunch in the past. I definitely liked the Detention Crew a lot. Like I said, there's a lot of really cool ideas, but check out the review if you want the rest of that. But I'm going to leave all of that for now, and hopefully you guys enjoy this episode of the Braxcast.
Thank you for tuning in to the Braxcast. Be sure to like, comment, follow, and subscribe to keep up with the Rippaverse.